All right, here we are, October 23rd. Good to be back. Good to be back. I was doing a commercial the last several days, so I wasn't able to trade. But now I'm back, and I should be trading the rest of the week and next week as well. Right now, we're looking at my live account sitting at $7,264. So, for those of you who may be new to the channel or not here when I put this account into Jeopardy, it went all the way down to like 4,000 something dollars, and I had to go into trader rehab as part of my trading plan. I have a trader rehab plan that says once I fall below a certain number, then I need to do a certain thing. And I think it's really important to have that as part of your trade plan ahead of time. So once you get there, you know what you're supposed to do. And all that's developed with a clear mind, because once your account is in big drawdown, mind's not so clear, a bit emotional there. So I was in trader rehab, had to scale way down and slowly dig my way out of that. And did that based on my rehab plan. So small amounts of risk and very selective on trades and things like that. And now I'm back up to $7,264. Took a while to get there, but I'm there. And now I can start scaling up again. So right now I have 42 days of making $200 or more since my last payout, with 81% winning days and 80 days complete. So far, so good. And with the E-mini Dow, we're at 70% success right now. I know this is a little bit lopsided. $200 average winning trade with $300 average losing trade, 317. But that is getting better. All right, so I got a message in my comment in my last video, because in my last video I said that I didn't want to scale up, even though I'm out of trader rehab right now. I didn't want to scale up until I have a losing trade. So, and I believe that's what Doji Trader was referring to. Doji Trader writes, I need to wait for, in quotes, I need to wait for basically a losing trade and then scale up from there. Then end quote, and then Doji Trader says, sorry, buddy, you lost me. That's some crazy logic. So I want to show you where that logic comes from, because if you're not doing this, maybe this is something you can think about. Again, don't copy me. You all have to do your own thing. Trading is very risky. All those good things. Like, I'm not here to give you videos for you to copy. I'm just here to show you what I'm doing on my journey and see if that sparks thought for you. So let's go ahead and look at where that logic comes from, and maybe that sparks some thought for you all. And maybe out of that, you develop something for yourself that helps you with your trading. So if Doji Trader's taking the time to write that, I'm guessing that there's a lot of you who are probably also thinking the same thing. All right, so here is my scaling ladders. So I use this program to help me determine when to scale up, when to scale down, like build my strategies off of it, all the kind of work on my trade plan off of it, everything. I use this program to do a lot of things. So in this program, I have my scaling ladder by dollars and by percent. Right now we're going by dollars. So right here, if I'm risking $100 a trade, once these green bars highlight the next piece, I can trade that risk. So right here, I have $200. I scale from 100 to 200, and then from 200 to 500. So now I can risk $500. And actually, let's take this back to where it was. So I can risk $500. Well, if I scale up to this $500 on this next trade, and it's a losing trade, and I lose 500, that takes me down to 3,600, which puts me back in the $200 range. So then I'm going to take 3 trades to be able to get back to that $500. So that'll set me back 3 trades if my first trade that I scale up to is a losing trade. So I'd rather not scale up into a losing trade. Well, how do you know if you're going to scale up into a losing trade or not? There's no way of knowing that. Just keep trading. Well, maybe there is a way of knowing that. So let me show you how I can know that. Okay, so I track my trades, not just the trades that I take, but I track the strategy itself, because I may not be trading very well and the strategy might be doing great. Because if the strategy is doing great and I'm not, then there's something wrong with my trade plan. If for some reason I'm doing awesome and the strategy is not, then I'm getting lucky. If I'm doing everything right and the strategy is starting to decline, then I need to hit pause and see if I'm going to still trade that strategy, or do I need to get a new strategy? What is going on, right? But the only way to know that is by tracking everything. And I can track my trades because I trade based on a proven statistical probability. So when I first went from Combine to XFA into live account, I was trading off a proven statistical probability and basing that off of something that I'm trading against, which in this case was my indicators. Once I got into my live account, I decided to do something completely different, start some new combines and trade off of discretion and give that a try and see how I would do. Disaster, right? Disaster. So then I went back to the way I know how to trade for me, which is based on a proven statistical probability using my indicators. So then I track my trades. And I also know that if I'm trading with a risk one to make one, I need to have above 70% success in order to be profitable. If I go below that, there's no way I'm going to make money. I know it sounds crazy. I'm risking one to make one. If I'm 68% and winning, then I should be profitable. But it doesn't actually work out that way. And I showed you that in a video a long time ago, and I'll probably bring that up again where I have my little blocks to kind of see how everything works out, because I need, winning trades have to pay for losing trades plus mistakes and things like that. And the math just doesn't work out. So if I'm risking one to make two, then I need to be above 58% winning in order for me to have long-term success. Again, it just works out that way with the math and adding in mistakes, missed trades. Sometimes I might not trade that day, and that day was a winning day. Next day I trade, it was a losing day. So the reality of trading is different than what it might be just tracking a strategy every day. So, and that's why I need those numbers to be able to have that buffer for reality of trading and missing winners and taking losers kind of thing, and also making mistakes. So I track all that stuff because if anything falls out of line based on what it has to be for me to be successful, then I need to be able to fix it. So looking at my tracking right here, you're looking at about 100, almost 100 trades, 98 trades. And with this tool right here, I can say if I'm trading this based on one account, risking say $500, then I'm making $28,000, and this took about 4 months to complete. Well, if I copy trade that 5 accounts, then I'm making $140,000 in that time. And if I scaled up to $1,000, and did it for the next 4 months over 5 accounts, making $280,000. So this kind of helps me look at my long-term projections, what's possible, not what's guaranteed. What I'm doing now might never work again, starting tomorrow, but it's what's possible. So I track that. So now I can look at this tracking and go back in time on it and see there's some win streaks there. And then what I'm noticing here is that every time I have a loser, there's usually not another loser in a row. Although right here there was 2 losers in a row, but typically in 4 months it only happened one time. So after a loser, I have a very high probability of a winning trade. Overall, the strategy is putting out 78.5%. But after a loser, it's like 99% probability of a win. At the same time, looking back in here, once I get to 4 winning trades, most likely a loser is coming. My probability is going way down. So sometimes it'll have more, it'll have 5, or I'll get into a win streak. But typically, once you've gotten to 4 or 5 even, probability is definitely not in my favor anymore. I guess it technically could be still 78%, but I see it as most likely a loser is coming. So I have 2 options. Say I get 4 trades in here. I'm ready to scale up after 4 trades. Do I want to take that 5th trade in a scaled up position, knowing that if I take a loss on it, I'm going to have to go back 3 trades? Nope, I don't want to do that. I would rather wait, because after a loser, probabilities are way high in my favor. But I'm not going to stop trading. I'm just going to keep trading the same risk. So I'm at that. Let's go back over there. If I'm at $200 risk reward, I'm just going to keep trading that $200. And then once that loser comes in, I'm at like a 98% probability I'm going to have a winner. Then I jump in that trade, which would put me at 4,600 from where I started there, right? So that was the scale up position, but I stayed at 200. And then after that loser, if I'm in this position, and then I take my next trade, and it's high prop 98% that I'm going to be a winner, now I'm in pretty good shape. I've got another green bar. So now my following trade, if it's a loser, and we're going to go look at that. Now I'm back to 4,100. I'm still risking $500. So now I would have to have 2 losers in a row to put me back in the $200 bucket. So let's go back over to my tracker. 2 losers in a row don't really happen. One time in the last 4 months, 4.5 months. All right, and 3 losers in a row have not happened at all in the last 4.5 months. Doesn't mean it won't happen. It just hasn't happened in 4.5 months. So probability is really high that won't happen. Back to scaling ladder. So if I took that loss, and then I took another loss on it, now I have to ask myself the question. So let's say I go down to 3,600. Do I scale back down to $200? Or am I in a position where there's never been 3 losers in a row, so I'm just going to stay with $500, and I'm going to deviate from the scaling ladder. But if my trade plan says I can do that, then that's what I'm going to do, because it's never happened. So it's almost 100%, right? So that's kind of what goes through my brain when I'm doing my trades. In the morning before I start trading, I look at this. I look at my scaling ladder, say, where am I at? I look at the thing I'm using to track my trades and say, where am I at? And then when I see that I've had a loser, then I had a winner, what does today look like? Well, let's go back in time. Every time there's a winner, there's usually a second winner. There's usually at least 2 winners in a row. One time in 4.5 months, right here, it went from winner right back to loser. So that means today, the probabilities are really high that I'm going to have a green day today, or at least a green trade if I only take 1 trade. That setup happens. It's extremely high probabilities. Great time to scale up and really kick off the account and get it moving. So this is kind of what I do every day, traders, before I start trading. Hopefully that helps you understand a little bit about what's in my brain, the logic behind some of the decisions I make when I'm trading based on a proven statistical probability and not discretion. So that's where we're at. So today I can definitely scale up in the account. Things are looking great, and maybe I can get a good kickstart on this live account and get it boosting and moving right along. All right, everybody. See you in today's trades. Okay, everybody. It's October 23rd. Just jumped into the Dow Jones YM short 1 contract. Should have scaled up a little more, but didn't have enough time to really frame out the trade and look at the contract size I should get. All right, I'm going to take this trade off the table if it doesn't want to get through. All right, just taking it off right there. Hit the target. Let's see if we can squeeze some more. Order filled. Nope. All right, I wish I would have been able to get my full size on that trade. Been about 5 contracts. Would have been a really nice trade. It just came off of a loser. Not for me, but tracking the trades. I track my trades whether I trade or not. What's happening with my strategy, so I can see what my probabilities are. And right now, today was the day to definitely get in, go big, and make a bunch of money on this trade. But I didn't get a chance to frame it out properly. So I knew roughly, with 1 contract, I would be safe as far as my risk, not risking too much. But I didn't have the chance to figure out that I really needed to have 5 to take advantage of today's opportunity. So it is what it is. At least it's a winning trade. $160. I'll take it. And that's going to do it for the live account today. And we'll see if anything sets up over in my combines. All right, everybody. Have an awesome day. See you tomorrow.